Hey, good evening, everybody. It's a Monday night homecoming wrap up recap right here on the O&G StrikeZone. I got to get my days and my shows right because there's so many of them. So Brian Fulford, hold on, let me make what I don't have is this thing on. So just in case you didn't know who we are, I'm Brian Fulford. That's Marcus Green. That's Kelvin Rozier, and it's good to be on with this special bonus show edition on the O&G StrikeZone. I want to give people a few minutes because they may be just trying to find us. I know normally, we would be on our JBN YouTube page, but this episode is exclusively on our O&G StrikeZone YouTube page, but also you can find it on Twitter, O&G StrikeZone, and on Facebook page. So we want to give a little special love to the unique Rattlers who follow us. We love everybody, but this one we wanted to make special just for the FAMU League. So that's why we're here. Kelvin, it's good to see you again. Marcus, it's good to see you. How you guys doing tonight?
Feeling good. Homecoming win, just sitting here watching it and just beaming with joy. And I know you guys were holding it down.
I feel like a champion. I feel like going on.
Oh man, you're singing. God bless you. We singing. That's what it's got you doing. Hey, look.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yes, sir. Florida A&M 45, Prairie View 7. Big time win at home for homecoming, number 18 in a row. And we got special guests. We got special guests lined up right off the jump. So let's go ahead and bring in our first guest of the evening to kind of give us the tea, give us the skinny on this win. I had to switch the background there. I like the orange and green look in the background. Let's bring on the one and only wide receiver, number 88 on the field, number 1 in your heart, Nicholas Dixon. Nick, how you doing, my man? Good to see you this evening.
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing
great.
Good,
Nick. Congratulations.
Man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about that, the emotion, the feelings, the years that you put in. And obviously we know the job isn't done, but, the first step was winning the East. So let's talk a little bit about the emotions of the moment right now, or from the weekend, rather.
Yeah. All right. So the emotions have died down, but this weekend was surreal. I think Coach Simmons, every time we walk on the field, you can ask him. It was just pure joy, honestly. I'm the youngest in my house, and I am the only one in my house that has not gotten any type of championship in football outside of probably like Little League. So to have a chance, and I can taste it, like I can see that we're going to be in the championship game. We know that now, but now after we found out, after we knew we guaranteed the win on the sidelines, we were stressing, keep the foot on the pedal. And when we got into the locker room, they let us know that one more win will clinch home field advantage. So that's perfect for us because we always think go 1-0. But this weekend, it felt like a movie, honestly. Came out hot. We had a good week of practice. Coach Simmons made sure we were locked in. He coached at PV, so this was obviously personal. So we had to get the win, and we had to win big. And, I think this just showed a lot of people when we lock in everywhere at every position as a team what we can really do. And we weren't even 100% locked in all the way throughout the game. I'll be honest. We had moments where we folded and tried to do too much, where things didn't go our way. But if we just consistently force people to snap the ball again, make the routine plays, make layups, get everything communicated, it's gonna keep going up. We'll keep trending up.
Nice. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, Nick, once again, congratulations. And also, I guess I have a double question. First, tell us about that touchdown catch. I mean, it was like some old fashioned inside the NFL type highlight toe tap. And then the second thing I wanted to ask that you've been there about the same amount of time as Coach Simmons. You're part of his
Same time.
inaugural class. So tell us about your journey. And I guess there are about 4 or 5 other players who are still in that inaugural class who are on the team as players or one as a grad assistant coach.
Mhm.
I guess if you could summarize you guys' emotion and your journey going from that start to now.
Okay, so I'll do two things. All right. This weekend on the touchdown, me and Jeremy, we drill. We get a lot of reps in practice, just making routine plays and catches. And Coach AC, Coach Carter, he's from Tallahassee. And I've known about him because I'm from Tallahassee. I've been known about him. When we got him as a coach, I saw myself take another jump because I don't know what it was about him, but I just stuck to him. So what you're seeing on the field is a product of me buying into the coaching all the way fully. Yeah, I got the picture. That's nice. It's actually my lock screen right now.
Yeah.
And with the inaugural class, with the first class, is me. I walked on. Coach Simmons let me walk on. David signed. David Manigo signed. Dank Smith signed. Cam Coven signed. And I think Izzy is the team. He's like he helps with the quarterback signals, and he's a grad assistant.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to make sure I don't leave anybody out from the first class.
Yeah. Did we catch you there? He might have got sniped there a little bit. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Let's give Nick a second. Maybe we'll see if he jumps back in. And there's again that amazing catch by Nick
Beautiful.
there. Beautiful catch. I
Hey,
didn't even
hey, let me just say on that particular play, I was going to say it in my commentary since we got a minute though. I say it now. That pass from Musa was on the money. It was the only place it could have been, and he catch it and still be able to be in the bounce. Um, and there was a guy from the edge who was beaming right in on him,
Mhm.
and he stood there like a champ and delivered a dime. And of course, the catch and the footwork. Man, it was a lot. It was a lot to like this weekend, but that was a beautiful football play, man. That's what I like to see.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. I mean, some great visuals. I mean, just I'm just, that there were a couple of dimes that Musa threw, even the one
Yeah,
to Pruitt. I mean, if you go and look at the two passes, it's hard to say which was better.
yeah.
Here we got Nick back. Here we got Nick back.
But I just had to redo my whole Wi-Fi.
That's
But
all right.
I didn't
That's
see that picture either.
what
That's
you say.
nice. I didn't see that picture, but that's everybody in the inaugural class and the feeling that we had together. Because we had film today. Me and Manigo were just talking about it in the film. Like it's crazy. Like we came in together and we all told each other, like when Coach Simmons first recruited us, he told us we're gonna be the ones to change it because there wasn't a person in our class that signed with the record under 500 coming out of high school. He told us, he was like, I'm recruiting winners because we have to win. He was like, you don't recruit losers to a winning program. He's like, you recruit winners. So all of us knowing, coming from winning programs in high school and buying in and listening to everything Coach says, we kind of knew, we know Coach Simmons is a winner. I know for sure. I'm from the area. He's from Quincy. Everybody knows about him. So I knew he was a winner for sure. And I was just happy that he got a bunch of dudes that'll come and buy in and actually love FAMU and play for the school. It's different when you play for your school.
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure, for sure. What do you got in there, Kelvin? Go ahead.
Nick, being a local guy and being here so long, um, and finally, you were very adamant last time about and I watched the clips of you on social media where you was putting in the work, and you gave every indication that you thought that your production you could have this kind of season, and also that the Rattlers could have this kind of season. And I say you've delivered in spades. I heard you talk about Coach AC and buying into his coaching and so forth. But it's a lot of guys on that team that are from the area. And I know that you talked to some of them at different times, some of them that came in later on. Just talk about the pride. Because if you look at the stadium, I mean, FAMU has always had good attendance and a rabid fan base. But it also makes difference when we know the players and we've seen them grow up and play from Pee Wee to Pop Warner when we got family members and so forth. So just describe that experience for you being a local kid and the success we're having this year, and you having it individually also on the field. Look like he got froze again. My question was too
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, no, I know he said he's dealing with Wi-Fi issues. So,
Yeah.
but no, that's
Yeah.
we'll give him a second here. Appreciate you guys going back. I was looking at the stats here. Here he is. Okay, he's back.
I'm just doing it on my phone because I know my phone won't fail me. I just didn't want. I wanted to do it on a laptop so I could feel special, but I'll do it on my phone.
It's all good. It's all good. Did you happen to hear the question? I know Kelvin had a long question there.
It cut out a little bit. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah. The question was, we were able to watch you. I was able to watch you on social media, and you during the spring and the summer and seeing you work out and the work you was putting in, and you were pretty adamant that you thought this would be a very productive season for you as well as for the team, and it has been being a local product and being with the program so long, and now to come to your last season, have this kind of season you haven't, along with the team having the season they have. Just talk about how that feels, man, and what made you have so much confidence this year.
So I mean, you see the names that we have on the team. We have in the secondary, we got Javen Morgan. He's from Tallahassee. We got Marcus Riley at corner. He's from Tallahassee. We got Kamari from Tallahassee, and all those guys. I'm not gonna say me. I had to learn to go from talking to just working, but all those guys are hit the ground work, blue collar guys. Like they're gonna work. So when we got Marcus here, Kamari's been here, we got Yant here, we got Wu here, we got all the local guys here. It's kind of easy to gel. And I think of it as like this, and I think Coach Simmons does too. When you get a bunch of guys that are already close knit together, they can pull somebody else with them. Because you already see that group over there close. So just get them together. So once we got our team together in the spring, we added some more pieces. We got Coach ACN. We got basically everything, all our pieces in the spring, and we had no real changes since the spring. Everybody was here for the summer. It was really destiny, really. I'll put it like that. This is the first time I've been here where everybody was here in the summer. Everybody was working, where we had the nutrition. We had people had things to do. If we had to get a job, there were jobs available. People helped us get jobs. People helped us with housing. It was just, and I got to give credit to AD Sykes. She helped out a lot too. Like she got here. She told us that she was going to deliver, and she's delivering. So I appreciate that. And this year, our coaches did they were more transparent with us. It's easy when your coach is just being upfront with you, transparent. Like it's not that they weren't upfront with us before. It's that with my generation, and I don't like it sometimes because my parents told me everything you don't need to know. But our coaches they're letting us know why you're not playing, what you need to do to get on the field. And I think that's great. Real transparent. Let me know what I need to do. If I'm messing up, they're not giving up on people. They're harping it. Because great teams, you're gonna be on somebody, you're gonna be on that kid from the day one of fall camp till the end of whenever the season is. That was another thing. We had guys taking a brother along. Like if dudes don't have rides, it's people hustling to get somebody there. It feels like a family. That's that. And my success is just doing your 111. Whenever anybody's in at the position X, Y, Z, tight end, running back, anybody has the capability to do what all of us have been doing, which is just making plays. So it just matters when the ball comes, just don't let the lights be too big. That was the thing I had to learn. Like, if you're going to talk about it, actually believe in it, believe that you can do it. And Coach AC helped me with that. My dad helped me with that. My brothers helped me with that. And being around my friends that play on the team, I like all of my closest friends from childhood on up play on the team now. So it's great to go in the locker room, see my friend, go to class, walk campus. Oh, hey, what you finna do, bro? Like, see my friend again. Go to the club, go out. It's just, it feel like a TV show. It feels scripted. It feel like everything. It feel like we got everything we wanted. Feel like we got our cake and we can eat it. So that's what it feels like. Like, it just feels great. I promise I walk around smiling all day, every day.
And I imagine it's not like that. You talk to a lot of brothers and a lot of friends at other schools. It can't be like that at other schools.
Look, I got friends at other schools and they make it sound like a business. And I have no problem with that. But my dad always told me when his job feels like business, he just gonna go get another job. You know? And I respect that. I respect dudes that can go to those schools where it's cut and dry business, not real family atmosphere. I got dogs. I have friends at the Power 5 level, Group of 5, FCS D2. And a good majority of my friends have told me if FAM was like this when they were coming out, they would have came to FAM. You know? But I also have a bunch of friends. I have some friends that hit the portal and came here because they always wanted to be around. I have friends, they will come here, but me and my friends, we all believe in sticking it out and loyalty. So some of them won't transfer, they won't leave, stuff like that. But them bigger schools, Coach Rich tweeted the other day, people go to Power 5s, lose the love for the game, come to FAMU. They come to FAMU and they relearn the love for the game.
Yeah.
I do think that is true. I've seen dudes come to FAMU and they're thinking, oh, I'm coming to a small HBCU. I'm finna just come, try to get stats, do whatever. And then a couple weeks later, about a month of them being here, they're all smiles. You know, everybody got the HBCU struggles. You know, your financial aid and stuff, maybe like that, whatever. You know, it's the HBCU experience. But other than that, it's nothing but smiles. I love playing in front of my people.
True that.
And a lot of people on the team feel the same way. It's different when you walk out on homecoming and it's a packed crowd and it's us out there. Like, that's a different feeling. It is a great feeling.
Hey,
that is
sells
an awesome
itself.
description.
That's
Love
an awesome
it.
description. Yeah, definitely. Marcus, you got any last questions you want to get in? Because we don't want to hold Nick too long because they back on the grind. What time is practice? Like 6, 7 in the morning, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
we
we
are
don't want
on
to
the
keep them
field
up
at 6
late.
a.m.
Well, Marcus, any last questions in there? I think you're on mute, Chris.
You kind of alluded to it the last couple responses that you gave, but what has the resurgence of FAMU's football fortunes over what I'll call the dark times, maybe in the early 2010s? What does that mean for the community?
It's funny because I had to learn this as I got older. A lot of people don't know this. I talk about it all the time sometimes, and I'll put it on my social media. I'm the first in my direct family to come here. Both my brothers played at Florida State under Jimbo, and my dad played under Bobby Bowden in the 80s and 90s. So when I was growing up, I grew up on the north side of Tallahassee, over near the Cobb area. So and I wasn't a kid that was just outside. I was football, school, go home, play the game. Like, I was with my friends, we'll work out. So it's funny. I remember going to because I like watching football. No, I love our band. I love the atmosphere, but I want to watch some good football on a Saturday. So during those times, I wasn't really watching FAMU. But I do know that if I would go see my friend on the south side, or if I would go see my friends, or if I would just drive by campus, it looks completely different from when it did back then to now. Like, the energy feels different. I know that when my brothers were in school, they weren't really that cool with a lot of people that played football at FAMU. I know now that FAMU football and FSU football, both of us being good, a lot of us have connections now, though. Like, it feels good that we're both 2 winning programs. We're both happy with each other. We hang out. We could talk. I worked the camp this summer. I worked the Marvin Wilson football camp with Tatum, Thabo, Marv, because Marv played with my brother. I worked with Marv. Jalen Goss came over and some other guys. When FAMU was good, I'm not going to say he only let us do that because we were good. I mean, it's a good connection, but things are better when everybody's winning. My coach calls people Charlie Browns because a Charlie Brown is a lovable loser. So Nobody wants to be a Charlie Brown. Nobody wants to be a Charlie Brown.
I got to use that. I love that.
But you want to be a winner. Like you want to. And this happening, Coach Simmons coming home and turning everything around. He did it. And a lot of people want to talk about a lot of other coaches and what other coaches do. I have watched my coach come here, and I've watched him put up with a lot. I've watched him go through a lot, and I've watched him do nothing but duck his head and work. It's a lot of people. I don't think people understand. We have played a football game off of one day of practice because of a hurricane, and Coach Simmons got us ready, and we won. We went to North Carolina A&T my freshman year off one practice during a hurricane, and we won. And I don't care how talented a team is, it takes a great head football coach to be able to do that. And I joke with him all the time and have fun with him and play with him, but he is a businessman. He likes to talk about the mentality and the work ethic, and you always have to have a GA's mentality, he said, because we're all GAs once. You have to have a GA's mentality. I truly believe he has a GA's mentality still. Like he's about doing everything and getting the grunt work done. I don't think it's a lot of coaches like Coach Simmons in college football. And I do appreciate him while he is here, because I know he's not going to be here forever. Somebody like that is going to get grabbed up. And I'm just happy that the whole time I was here, I didn't have to have a different head coach. You know, that is one of the greater feelings. And playing in front of Rattler Nation, playing in front of y'all in Bragg, it is a great feeling. I was a kid. I used to think, man, I want to go to Bama. I want to play for Florida State. I want to play for Oregon. I know in my heart of hearts, it wouldn't have been the same for me. And my brothers and my mom and dad could tell you, they were all worried when I was going to college because they didn't know. Like, they didn't know how I'd feel, how I'd do being a walk-on. Your brothers went to Florida State, this and that. FAMU helped me become who I am and made me comfortable in being myself. Like, as a student, as a person, as an athlete, I never got, like, shamed for who I was. I was always able to be me. So I just got to thank FAMU for that. I always appreciate that. And we are going to, I don't want to guarantee it or speak crazy, but we are going to do our best to go 1-0 this week so that we can have the SWAC championship at home for Rattler Nation. That is what we're going to do. We are going to wake up tomorrow, have a good practice, and we're going to take it one day at a time. That is one thing that Coach Simmons preaches. Don't look too far ahead. Like, a lot of people are talking about get your tickets for Alabama A&M. Don't worry about the Celebration Bowl. Don't worry about
I will be there.
Don't worry about any other game. If you talking about getting tickets on Twitter or Instagram or in your little Rattler spaces, get tickets for Alabama A&M. Get tickets for the next game. And if you just keep getting tickets for the next game, if everything goes how the plan is planned, we will see y'all in Atlanta. You just got to keep going 1-0. Everybody want to talk about the big goal. We got to go 1-0. I'm not worried about any championship. I have this shirt on. This is my shirt from JSU. I don't want people to think this is a championship shirt.
I saw that.
The shirt we got after we won the Orange Blossom Classic. I am focused on Alabama A&M, and so are my teammates. I want Rattler Nation to focus on Alabama A&M. You know, y'all do the trash talk and have the fun, but just know we are locked in on big on 1-0. It is nice to be crowned the SWAC East. I don't see that as a real championship. I want to be the best in the SWAC. I want to be the best. Now I want to be the best in HBCU football. I don't want to just be the best on the side of a conference. I feel like that's settling. So I just want everybody to gear up, be ready to go to Huntsville this week. You know, I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. I don't know how it feels up there.
It's gonna be a little chilly.
I'm gonna be playing football. I ain't gonna be that cold. I'm
layered up. In Florida, that's right. That's right. Hey, Nick, I don't know whether you were in one of these photos, but there was a photo of and it was a young man. A young kid, probably maybe about 6, 7, first, second grader, and he was taking a picture with a lot of the guys after the game on the field, and just reading the post from his mom. I wish I would have thought to pull up the Twitter handle.
She works with me.
I wasn't in that photo, but I did take a picture.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though, right?
I took a picture with another kid around the fence, but honestly, I feel like you're gonna ask, what does it mean to do stuff like that? And I promise you, it means the world. I was that little kid once.
Right.
Like, I always stop. Like, they get mad at me for giving gloves out and stuff. Man, if I don't got a pair of gloves, if I'm an adult and if y'all can't give me no gloves and I have to go buy, if I can't go buy a pair of gloves, that's a bigger situation. But if I give up when dudes used to, my brothers used to give me gloves to the point where they were like, all right, go get gloves for somebody else on the team. But getting those gloves, wearing those gloves, seeing myself playing at Florida State when I was a kid, seeing myself playing at those schools, that did a lot. Like, people used to clown me. Like, not even people used to clown me. It used to be like, why you always walk around with football? Why you always do this? It's like, y'all don't know, like, what I'm thinking, like, what I'm going through my head. Like, I have an active mind. I know there are kids like me walking around, seeing themselves, seeing their future, thinking about what they're going to do. And I know that's big. I know that's big. Like, I know, like, seeing a college football player, having him walk up to you, give you the gloves, take a picture, talk to you, is big. When I'm not gonna say I'm anybody's hero, but college football player, a lot of people heroes. It's big when your hero just come talk to you. Like, if you look up to somebody, I don't want this to be for anybody. If anybody ever just wants to take the time out of their day to talk to you, no matter what you have going on, just think, how would you want somebody to do that for you? That's what I think.
You're inspiring. You're inspiring one person, one child at a time, Nick, and that's huge, man. The same, you're paying it forward. The same way people did that for you, you're in a situation where you're able to do that for someone else, and man, God's blessed you with a great opportunity, and I love the fact that you're using this space and using every moment that you got to live it right and
Yeah.
and pay it forward, man. So. Uh, Keep doing your thing, man. Keep grinding. You and the fellas 1-0. You start brand new on Tuesday morning when the sun rises. It's a new day and a new opportunity to be great, and we know you guys will. So
Yes,
uh,
sir.
we'll talk again. I know if Kelvin sees you in Huntsville, I know he'll holler. But you
Yep.
guys have a great week of practice.
Yes, sir.
Safe travels to Huntsville, Rattler Nation. I know we'll be there and get the job done, baby. 1-0.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right, Nick.
All right, Nick Dixon, ladies and gentlemen, man, love that young man, love that guy.
Absolutely, man. Awesome personality, and really get what being a Rattler and what family means. You
Yeah,
know, to me, HBC, all HBCUs, but particularly FAMU. The reason we so rabid about FAMU is because we love FAMU. You can hear it when he talks.
yeah,
He loves FAMU, and he's appreciative. He's appreciative of what FAMU has done for him.
yeah.
And man, man, it just give me chills listening to him.
It did. I wrote a recommend, and this is off the subject real quick, but we just talking about paying it for. I wrote a recommendation for a young lady today, and senior, one of my classes, and I was giving her a hard time because she was going to she put down other schools. She's a senior, so you fill out applications for other schools. And I told her, I said, I'm not writing your letter until you get to FAMU. When you're ready to apply for FAMU, I'll write the letter of recommendation. Now, I know that might have been cold, but hey, that's how I am. You want a recommendation from me? You apply to FAMU. So I wrote the recommendation today, and because I know she was waiting on it to send to Spelman as well as FAMU. And I just, as I'm writing it, I'm visualizing, that this young person will be a great Florida A&M student. I know she will. And just like you hear it in Nick, that passion, that love, and that thing that it's kind of burned in all of us, even through our struggles. I know we all probably had
Yeah.
struggles, and some of us, those of us coming from far away places. Hey, look, there was times when we all questioned, man, do I really want to go back? And I'm thankful to this day. My mother said, God rest her soul. She said, stay. She said, just give it some time. And God bless. Sure enough, I met some of the best friends of my life later that semester and the following year. And so I changed my life. So I tell people all the time, that's what FAMU does. And
Yeah.
even when you go away from FAMU for several years for whatever reason, and when you come back, it's like you never left. So
Yep.
that's the beautiful thing. That's FAMU. That's family. Um, let's keep this thing going. I'm not. Let's get to some of the game, because coming up at 8:15, I think we're gonna have Coach Simmons coming up at 8:15. I think that's what he's scheduled for. So it kind of gives us about a 15-minute window here to talk about the game, go through a few of the stats, things that we saw, and then get into talking with him. And we're not gonna be here for long. We appreciate you guys. Hit the thumbs up or the like button if you're watching on our YouTube page, O&G StrikeZone, or our Facebook page. If you're watching on Twitter, jump on one of those two streams. Facebook, or YouTube at O&G StrikeZone, and join the page. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button wherever you are. Share it with Rattler Nation. Just kind of an exclusive thing. Normally on Wednesday nights, you'll be able to catch the show on our normal location on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page, but it will also stream here. You can also get it on our website, myjbn.net. And you can also download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app on the Google Play or Apple App Store. Just search MyJBN, my BCSN, and you can find it in all places. So FAMU gets the win 45-7. We score in every quarter of this contest. 14 points in the first, 7 in the second, 10 in the third, 14 in the fourth. I think, was it you, Kelvin, or Marcus? Somebody said this is the first time we've scored in every quarter this season. Is it not?
That must have been Kelvin. But I think you're right, because
that's
we've
correct.
had lulls.
And Kenya Sykes pointed it out too on social media.
Okay. Yeah. And it's the first time that we cracked the third. It's funny because I was in the media box with Keith Hadley and a few other folks. Shout out to Keith and shout out to Kennedy on doing part of the stat crew. And Gerald was up there. Mr. Sinclair was up there. Who, by the way, Sinclair might have been the greatest empanadas I ever tasted. I'm just letting you know. The man put his foot in some empanadas, but they tasted absolutely great. By the way, but where was I going with this? I got to talk about
31-point cap.
Thank you. We all joked about it at one point because right after we scored 31 is I think when we had our first either our first fumble. Was it a fumble on that drive when we were trying to see whether we could break the 31-point cap? And it's like I had this kick in my gut, like, oh hell, come on now, don't do this, let's not. Here we are rolling on these dudes, and let's not fumble the ball and mess up breaking 31 points. And sure enough, we did. We had guys score. I think 3 Godby guys scored. Of course, Nick Dixon from Godby. Let me see. Who I don't know if that was correct when that was said. I heard that said Jennings. No. Okay, I don't know what that was then. Okay,
Not
so I
score.
scratch that. But we had
Kelvin Dean's from Rickards.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it was Tallahassee guys. Maybe that's what he was thinking of. But anyway, we had Terrell Jennings scoring a 3-yard touchdown run on a 7-play, 80-yard drive to open the game up. Then, of course, that great catch that Nick had, 36 yards from Musa, which, I mean, just look at the image. One more time for this image. My God, what a beautiful toe. Look at the toe drag. And there's even a better zoomed in photo of this on Instagram at FAMU Athletics. Sorry, the QR code covered up Marcus there. Yeah, that just great catch, great throw. Prairie View did end up scoring with 5:06 remaining in the second, but then we came back. Musa again found Jeremy Pruitt. Somehow he found him in the corner, which I still have to go back and watch the replay because I don't know how Pruitt caught that. Musa threw it to the one spot, I guess, in the corner. Amazing throw, 4 yards to Pruitt for his second passing touchdown of the game. FAMU goes up 21-7 into halftime. Coming out of the third quarter, the Jamarie Shareed run of 52 yards, which I think was maybe a 3-yard pass and a 48-yard, 49-yard run. I mean,
I think he actually caught the pass behind the line of scrimmage.
You might be right. You might be right that he did catch it behind and he got going and he bounced off guys, broke through the tackle. And I'm just like, no, you mean this guy's going to go? And somebody even pushed him forward. And I'm just like, oh my God, Prairie View's tackling. That's when I knew, okay, this game is ours. Because if the number of guys he bounced off of to get home was amazing. But great run by Shareed, 52 yards. That's Musa's third touchdown of the game. Cameron Gillis hit a 27-yard field goal at the end of an 11-play drive in the third quarter. That got us to 31. Then, of course, the Kelvin Dean touchdown off of an 8-play drive with 7:37 in the fourth quarter took us to 38. And then with 1:35 to play, Tevin Griffey with the pick six, 10 yards. Daddy's in the end zone with the big super zoom lens. I mean, you couldn't have written a better ending. 45 points, 45-7. FAMU scored on drives, 7-play drive, and 11-play drive. Well, no, I thought an 8-play drive. So we did it short drives, long drives. Outstanding work. Kelvin, your thoughts on offensive, defensive performances, wherever you want to go with this. Your thoughts.
Couple of things that stood out for me. First the secondary. We played complementary football. They got turnovers. We got interceptions, giving our offense multiple opportunities to score. I mean, the scoring before the half, that was set up by a turnover. So I really like how the secondary looked. For the first time, they were aggressive, and they made plays. They made plays. So that stood out to me. The second thing that really stood out to me, finishing halves. Great teams, they finish halves. So we scored again for the second time in a row, because we did the same thing against Texas Southern in the last minute of the second quarter, going into halftime. We scored a touchdown. So we go into halftime with momentum. Also in the fourth quarter, you mentioned we scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. We finished the game. And I think that's a very important. I believe I was so positive about this win for many reasons. And Nick kind of reinforced some of my beliefs about how we played this game. I believe a game like this gives the guys some swagger, some confidence. And we'll have opportunity again this week to play a team that doesn't have a strong defense. And so the more confidence and more success these guys have, I think the more dangerous they are going to be. Because as Nick mentioned, and as we said before the season started, this team has depth. That's what separates us from everybody else. You might can play with us for a quarter and a half. You might can get to halftime, but eventually the quality of our depth is going to get you. So, man, I was really excited about this win, and we still left some points on the board, on the field. But, for me, it was never about being perfect. What it was about was playing to your capabilities. And this was the first time all season, I think, for mostly the whole game, all 4 quarters, we played close to our abilities. And therefore, the score showed it.
Marcus had a chance to lead the watch party. So what was your view? Of course, you had the Tiffany Green, Jay Walker in your ear.
It was a great game from beginning to end, and like Kelvin noted, one of the things the defensive backfield seemed a lot more aggressive. There were a lot more tip balls. I know we tend to play off a lot, but it seemed like we came up faster. I don't know. It sounds like Coach Simmons' plea, if you will, to have the defensive backs play more aggressively was heard, and they were all over the place. And even the play where they scored the lone touchdown, it was pretty much blanket coverage by Kendall Bowler. Yeah. And it was just a perfect
you just need to turn around.
Yeah, if he had turned around, we could have had a shutout, because I don't think they would have been sniffing anything else. And, that's not the fault of him. It was just a great play, a great placement of the ball. Play. And, I mean, he still almost knocked it out, but it was just like the guy kind of bobbled it. And I was trying to check and see if he got control before he crossed the end zone and went out of bounds. But regardless, the defense was playing tight. And it didn't seem, even though we did have a couple penalties, it didn't seem as problematic as in previous games.
We only had 4.
Okay, and I was trying to find that. I was trying to look
Yeah.
for it in the game summary, how many we had. So I think a lot of things are coming together. Even some of the things we talked about off camera and in previous shows, where with the amount of senior experience and grad students and higher upper level upperclassmen that we have, that you would think some of these issues wouldn't be as prevalent, but it seems like it's everything's gelling at the right time. And the offense was just, working it. And I think, I guess the one thing I know, one drop that Marcus Riley had when it looked like, I don't know if it was a corner route or whatever, he was wide open in the end zone and just kind of the ball got him. I mean, but for the most part, everything was clicking.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let's go to our special guest that we have that's going to be joining us right now. Let's see. Make sure I got him here. Hold on, it's a little issue here. Okay, here we go. Joining us now, our head coach, the head ball coach, Coach Willie Simmons.
All right.
Coach, congratulations. Good to see you. I know it's been a busy day. You've been talking to a lot of media, talking to a lot of folks. How you feeling at the end of the day?
I'm about like everybody else that came to homecoming. I'm tired.
What's it like for you post game? I mean, as much as you can share. I mean, because you've had all this busy work leading up to, and then you give yourself, I'm sure, a little bit of time to enjoy festivities. Where was the first spot you went to once the game was over? Where did you and the wife and kids go? Which little spot on Perry Street did you hit, or however you want to share it? Give us a little inside.
Well, actually, the wife took the kids home. We got a sitter because we obviously wanted to celebrate and hang out. She's an alum, so homecoming is huge to her. She was able to hang out some on Thursday and Friday night. So she went home and changed. I brought my clothes with me because I knew if I went home, I probably gonna fall asleep and not get back out. But so she ended up. We went to one of our classmates. Their attorneys. They throw a party every year. So I went by there with some friends. She didn't make it to that one because she didn't get back in time. We had tickets to the moon, but ended up, I went in for a little bit. She ended up not doing it, and then, my customary post game celebration is at Capital Cigars, where I'm a member. Just go there and hang out, decompress a little bit. It's kind of my time to just get away. You know, Tom, the owner, passed away earlier this year, but when he opened the club back and I started going back in 2018, he set the guidelines. Coach is not here to talk about football, so don't bother him. Just let him just relax and have his cigar. I don't drink, so I have to get my glass of water and have my cigar, and that's all I do. So, but no, it was great to just be able to just kick back and relax and celebrate the huge win, just to see the excitement everybody was really excited about, the game and where we are as a program and homecoming as a whole. So, all in all, it was a good celebration. But yeah, again, I'm paying for it today.
I'm sure. Kelvin, go ahead.
So, Coach, give me your assessment of the game, the team play. I would tell you, y'all shut me up. I ain't got nothing to say. It was really a fantastic game. I never look for perfection. I do look for improvement, and I saw it in spades in a lot of places. This is second game in a row we've hit around 200 yards rushing to complement our passing game. Our secondary making plays, getting interceptions. So I mean, it was a pretty complete game. But just give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I share your sentiments. Obviously, I've been very critical of the team myself, and then try to evaluate every aspect of it. But I thought top to bottom we played a very, very sound game, a clean game. Didn't play perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we definitely did a lot of really, really good things. Ran the ball really well, 181 yards, threw for 272, and so again, have 453 yards and 55 or so snaps. I mean, that's very, very efficient. Had some explosive plays. Had 3 touchdown passes, and so I thought offensive line played as well as they played all year. We had 1 sack, but kept Jeremy upright all night long, opened up running lanes all night long. The running backs ran hard, receivers blocked well. I had a couple of drops in the second quarter that stalled some drives, but all in all, aside from that, I thought we played really solid. Jeremy missed a couple. I know you guys talked about the pass that Marcus dropped there going towards the end zone, but I thought it was a ball that Jeremy could have left inside. He threw it over the outside shoulder, and Marcus was wide open. That's a tough catch to run full speed and make that over the shoulder catch. And but that one got away from him. The double move there on our sideline with K Dot got away from him. But other than that, I thought we played really well defensively. I mean, lights out. It's absolutely lights out in every aspect. So no blemishes there. And then special teams was probably the one area that we weren't very consistent. We had a block punt first of the year, had a long return. We gave up on kickoff coverage. So we got to clean those things up. Trey shanked the punt there. I think it's the second quarter. So just got to be more consistent in special teams. We have the talent, but you want to see that consistency to allow us to play at an elite level. But all in all, again, complete performance, and that's what you expect on homecoming. And I thought our fans really, really enjoyed the product that we put on the field Saturday.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Marcus, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Coach. I wanted to ask. I was looking at some of the stats from NCAA.com, and it looks like we're trending in the right direction as it relates to not having as many infractions. And so, to what do you attribute that shift from early on in the season where we were kind of near the bottom or basically second, but now we're trending upward towards that? And how much of a role has the senior leadership or the upperclassmen that we have, the grad students, the seniors, and the COVID seniors, help contribute towards making that improvement?
Well, we talk about it a lot. Discipline is something that we stress a lot in our program, and it's about little things. Just focusing on the little things and doing them right. So false starts, offsides, illegal formations, personal fouls. Those are a lack of focus or lack of attention to detail. I don't ever worry about in-game penalties, holding, pass interference, block below the waist. Those face masks, those things don't bother me. You're playing hard. You're going to get a face mask every now and then. You're going to get the hands to the face. You're going to get a holding call here and there. So the penalties that I worry about are the ones that happen before the ball is snapped, and then the one that happens when the play is dead. So we've done a much better job of controlling those type of penalties, and it's allowing us to play a cleaner brand of football. And it's not putting us in bad positions because those penalties put you in bad positions. If you get a holding call on first down, it's still first down, but a personal foul happens after the play. So you lose a down or you give the team an automatic first down. So both are extremely detrimental. A false start, backs you up 5 yards, and offsides. We had one the other day on fourth down that extended the drive and gave them a first down. They didn't even have to snap the ball, and they got a free first down. So those are the penalties you got to clean up. And we're making a huge emphasis of it. Our leaders, our seniors, those guys understand it. And we're trying to drive that message home that great football teams don't beat themselves. And those type of penalties, beat you. And so we're really doing a better job of emphasizing it. And the guys are taking heed to the message, it seems.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach.
Hey, Coach. So as I was listening to the SWAC Media Day presser this morning, and I'm obviously it must have felt a little, I don't know how much of it you listened to, but a lot of the coaches definitely recognizing you and the team for taking care of the East. And it brought to mind what you said the previous week about having those conversations with Coach Chennis Berry. You guys kind of having those conversations. And I don't know if you've already talked to him or had a chance, but is there anybody that you maybe talked to in the moment in the past 24, 48 hours and said, okay, I've kind of accomplished this first of many things that I want to accomplish. What do I do? How do I handle this next phase, which is whatever for us, 1-0, winning the next game, staying in control of what we can control? Have you had that conversation? And I mean, feel free if you want to share maybe who it was with, how'd that go, or who was it with?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. My brother Chennis and I, we talked this morning on the drive in. So that's a weekly call. We're gonna make that call every week. We're gonna talk about the previous game, talk about this week's game, bounce some offensive ideas off of each other, and then talk about how we motivate the guys. We're in a very similar situation. They're undefeated. They've clinched their respective side of the division. Well, not division, but they've clinched the championship game. They're in the SIAC, and obviously we've clinched here on the East. And so we're two teams that are playing really good football, very strong defense. And so, again, we share a lot of the same challenges within our respective programs. So he's a great resource. He's a great listener. And, again, he's been a godsend as a big brother to me throughout this time. And I'm the kind of the elder statesman as a head coach because I've been a head coach longer than him. But just to have that voice of a guy that you can trust and bounce ideas off of has been great. But there are other guys I talk to as well, but just not as frequently as Coach Barry and I.
How and I may have missed this. How did that relationship start? Where did it form?
I formed a long time ago, back when we were both assistant coaches in the SWAC. I was at Alcorn State. He was at Southern. We were both offensive coordinators, and so I've always respected his offensive mind. He and Eric Dooley were probably the two guys that I looked at across outside of myself and what we were doing at Alcorn offensively, and admired what they did. And so we had a chance to talk and kind of bounce ideas off of each other and share our philosophies. And I knew it was time for him to become a head coach. So we built that relationship as assistants. I got my first opportunity a couple of years later. He was still at Southern as a coordinator, doing a really great job. And then obviously when his name started coming up for head jobs, he leaned heavily on me, obviously, to get advice of how to run your own program and some of my experiences as a new head coach. So it started back as assistants, and now we both elevated to become leaders of our respective programs. And it's great to have that resource there every week that you can, again, bounce ideas off of in a non-judgmental way.
Right.
We're brothers, and that's a great asset.
Love it. Appreciate you sharing that. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, the game this weekend is the weather's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little cold down there. As a matter of fact, it's in the 20s during the week, but I think it warms up just a little bit. Will be 39, 40 at night, and we got a 2:00 kickoff, so it'll be probably around 60, 59. But is there any difference in as far as the approach when the weather's a little bit colder?
No, not really. We practice in the morning, so it's a little chilly, a little brisket here sometimes, and it's football. So in football it's going to get cold in November and December. So if you want to play championship ball, you better prepare yourself for some inclement weather. So no, I don't worry about the elements. The good thing about it, whatever elements we're facing, other teams facing the same one. So if it's a little chilly, it's chilly for both teams. If it's a little windy, it's windy for both teams. We're both teams from the South. It's not like we're going up to the Northeast to play
Right.
Howard or Norfolk or one of those MEAC teams that, a lot of those guys are from that region. Alabama A&M gets their guys from the same places we get ours. So cold, we're all gonna be cold, but no, it's great football weather. And once you
Yeah.
start playing, the cold weather doesn't bother the guys that are on the field. It's the ones that are off the field that it kind of affects a little bit more. But if it's in the 50s, 60s, I mean, that's not cold. That's good football weather. You worry more about the wind because now you got to consider kicking and passing the ball and those type of things. But end of the day, you're gonna play football in the cold in November, so you better mentally prepare yourself for it.
Marcus, let you get the last one in here with Coach.
Yes, quick question. The improvement in the running game. I know last year it seems though there are a rash of injuries and nicks and bruises, and it seems like we've gotten past that hurdle, and everyone seems to have
Knock
been
on wood. Knock on
yes,
wood.
Yeah, not gonna
remain
lose
remain healthy. And to what do you attribute that in terms of it contributing to the overall stoutness of the run game?
Yeah, running the ball is a mentality, and I think we started the season with it. We made a commitment to doing so, and we really challenged the offensive line. Coach Henry made a point every day during training camp, during the offseason, to remind the guys that we were dead last in the conference in rushing last year, and so it was a real challenge to the offensive line to get the ground game going. We started out the gate really well against Jackson. I mean, ran the ball extremely well. Had some big explosive runs. And then obviously we ran up against the strongest team we played all season in South Florida, and we didn't run it particularly well. And then after that, we kind of started declining a little bit week by week. And so when the bye week came, we really went back to the drawing board and said, hey, what do we need to do to address the running game? And one, again, made a commitment to it, how we practice it, the physicality that it takes, really stressing to the running backs about pressing the line of scrimmage, being patient, being able to make a guy miss. And it was just an overall commitment to it. And I think the guys accepted the challenge. And, we played a team 2 weeks ago, Texas Southern, who had a three down front. So we figured we'd have some opportunities there in the run game. And then last week, we just said, hey, look, we got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And I thought those guys did that. Even after TJ Lee, our starting center, went out, early there in the second quarter, we were still able to run the ball extremely well. So we got to continue that. We've shown that we can throw it against anyone, but if we can run the ball effectively and be efficient, it takes a lot of pressure off of our defense to play a lot of snaps. And it mentally wears your other team out. When you can't stop the other team from running the ball, that's a very, very frustrating thing. So we want to continue to impose our will on other teams, and this will be a great opportunity for us to continue to do so this weekend.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach.
Coach, hey, we appreciate your time this evening. I know it's been a long day. Back to the grind tomorrow. 1-0. Is that, let me ask one last question. Is that the 1-0 mantra, which it really feels like that's kind of been like a last 5 to 10 year kind of thing? Is it easier to sell now as you kind of have the examples that you've been putting forth, and the guys we've had these consecutive winning streaks in seasons? Is it easier to sell that to guys? Because, sometimes I wonder, it just feels like coach speak, but when we talked to Nick Dixon earlier, I mean, he was repeating it. It's like ingrained in it. So just humor me. Just tell me a little bit about 1-0, because I'm trying to live my life 1-0. I'm just trying to win tomorrow. I'm of that mindset. I'm just gonna get a shirt that says 1-0. I'm just trying to win today.
Well, honestly, and just full transparency, that's one of the things I got from Coach Berry. That's one of his big things. If you follow him on social media, it's 1-0, and in every game he wins, he posts on it. He posts to Tiger Nation. Hey, we went 1-0, and so there are a lot of ways. We come up with these sayings or beliefs or philosophies, and there are a lot of different ways to say it. So you just try to come up with a way that can resonate with the guys. So we talk about process. You talk about being where your feet are, paying attention to the details, focusing on the little things. So it all means the same thing. Say we're going 1-0 means that, hey, we only get to play one game this week. And so our goal is to win that one game. We can't think about the following week. We can't think about a championship 3 weeks away. We can't think about a Celebration Bowl that's over a month and a half away. We have to focus on what's in front of us right now. Alabama A&M is the only thing that matters to us. The game this weekend. And so that's going 1-0. Now, you dial it back even more than that, because you say, okay, that game isn't for another 5 days. So to us, 1-0 means tonight, right? Are the guys getting rest? We got to get up tomorrow morning and be here at 6 a.m. Well, they got to be here before that to get dressed and tape, but call up is at 6 a.m. And so can I win tonight? Can I go 1-0 tonight? If I haven't eaten dinner yet, can I go 1-0 with my meal? Am I eating healthy? Can I go 1-0 with my rest? Am I getting enough rest? Can I go 1-0 tomorrow morning, getting up, getting my mind right to win this practice, to get better for the 2 hours we're out there on the field? Once we're off the field, can I go 1-0 in the classroom and go to all my classes and do the work that I need to do? Then can I turn around and go 1-0 at lunch? Can I go 1-0 in treatment? Can I go 1-0 in study table? Like, you're just developing those habits of just winning the small battles. And that's what a football game is. It's a series of small battles that will ultimately culminate in a big win at the end. A season is 11 small battles that will culminate in hopefully an opportunity to extend that to 12 or 13 at the end of the season. So you just really get into that mindset of being where your feet are, focusing on the thing that's right here in front of your face, winning that thing. And if you do, you keep that laser focus on the task, it develops great habits, because to be 1-0 in something, you got to pay attention to detail. You got to be a habit-driven person. And so that's what we're trying to instill in these guys. That's what fundamentals are. That's our word for today. Our F for today is fundamentals. So the little things, do it 10,000 times, make it a habit, and you'll be great at it, right? And so that's what we're trying to instill into these guys. And that 1-0 motto is something that they can relate to, because now it attaches it to, if you go 1-0, you won, right? If you go 1-1, you lost. So being 1-0 means that you won the respective thing that you're going after. And that's the mindset that we have. And even though we've clinched, we want to go 1-0 this weekend. That's the most important thing for us right now, is to focus 100% of our attention and focus and mindset on Alabama A&M.
Well said, Coach. I'm gonna have to play this back several times and keep that as a reminder on my phone. So I'm gonna try to win tonight and then wake up and try to win tomorrow. But Coach, always thank you for your time. Thank you for making time for us.
Coach.
Congrats again, and we look forward to the team. Safe travels to Huntsville, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. All right, Coach.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I hope you had a happy homecoming.
Yes, we did.
Very
Me too.
happy, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Happy
I owe
ending.
you.
All right.
I owe you a cigar. Your
There
cigar
you go.
choice.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll be waiting on it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Later. All right. Again, that's head coach Willie Simmons. Always good to have Coach on. Man, awesome stuff, man. All right. Real quick, I was there any meat still left on the bone in terms of the stats from the other night that you think we should mention? I noticed the SWAC honors came out. We didn't have anybody on that list, but
Yeah, it was a team win. It was a good team
Mhm.
win. Everybody contributed. So
best.
I mean,
Let me ask this.
Isaiah Major, he had what
Yeah.
11 tackles and stuff. You know, he could have.
11 tackles.
Yeah, he could have been considered. I think that for again for me, the four penalties for 40 yards.
Uh-huh.
That's what our penalty yardage was, and then the other 6.2 yards average per rush.
Mm-hmm.
That's running the damn ball there. So
Yes, it is.
man, we keep the penalties down, and we get an average 6 yards a rush. And you know, we're gonna win a lot of games that way.
Mhm.
I will tell you this. I would encourage anybody to, if you have binoculars, maybe for a play or two, or even a defensive series, put your binoculars on just the front, or find Isaiah Major and put your binoculars on him, James Ash, Grable, Gentle Hunt. Just put it on those. I watched through the binoculars. I watched James Ash make a tackle with the guy draped on his neck, the offensive lineman draped on his neck, and he just blew the guy up, made the tackle. And one time I saw Major hit the guy, hit Major, and I'm gonna rewind that. Major hit him, and it was like he hit a wall. And I'm just, you sometimes don't get that when you're watching it on TV, but sometimes just put your binoculars on those guys for maybe one series, and you will see how good our front is. Our front, I guess we'd say the front six, because the 4 down, 2 linebackers. But our front four is really good. It really
Yeah.
is. And I watching them call for work. I was start working stat crew. I was like, damn. I mean, I said that about 5 times. A little, probably more than I needed to up there. But it was just watching our front blow up offensive linemen from Prairie View, make tackles, people dragging on them, and Major is the truth. I was going to ask you guys. It's hard to, if you had, and I should have put a poll up and said it would have been unfair, but who had the better or the prettier interception? Was it Griffey? Was it Eric Moore? Or who had the other interception?
Or Eric Smith.
Glaze, Jalen
Yeah.
Glaze. Who had the more exciting interception? Because I'll tell you what, the one that Eric Smith made, wow, that was pretty special. He went up and high pointed that one to come down with it, and that could have easily have been a throwaway, or just a deflection. But that was pretty impressive.
You can make a case for all three. So Glaze interception was the most important or most impactful because the score was 14-7.
Yes,
It was coming to the half, and they were in scoring position. They were moving the ball.
Yeah.
And so when he made his pick, he flipped the field because he returned it about 59 yards or so.
Yes, he did.
And
Yep.
then 2 plays later before going into the half, now the score is 21-7. But I agree with you. Stylistically, Eric's pick was the most graceful, the most artful.
Yeah.
And then Griffith's on was the most sentimental. Your dad there is a first pick. It's a first pick 6.
Yeah.
It had to feel darn good. So It's a great storyline. It's a great sentimental moment. So, but for me, just the fact that the defensive backfield made plays and
Yeah.
and some a couple of new names. I just want to see more of that, and that's very encouraging because you talked about our front four and really our front six and how well they are, and we rotate a lot of guys in up there too. But to see the secondary to kind of be a strength in a game as much as that front four was, I mean, man, we become more of a complete team. We start and that's a beautiful thing. It puts us closer to where we want to be.
Sacks were recorded by Anthony Dunn Jr., Sharif Say, which I think Sharif is now in like maybe three. I know at least it feels like Sharif has made sacks in like 2 or 3 consecutive games now. Um,
Mhm.
he was one of those guys that we talked about with his frame that we were just kind of excited to see what he would become. But it looks like he's starting to work himself into that that rotation, that first and second team rotation. And then the other sack was by Alan Smith. Those were the 3 sacks. In total, I was trying to see total tackles for loss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.5 tackles for loss. Isaiah had 2 of them, 2.5 of them. And then, of course, Kendall Bowler had 3 pass breakups. Um, Javen Morgan had a breakup. Eric Smith had a breakup. Dakar Edwards had a breakup as well. Marcus, anything you want to any last notes you want to add here?
220 220 total yards of offense for Prairie View.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. No,
Says it all.
we just got to continue going forward.
I did put out there on Twitter Sunday morning the hot topic at the post game tailgate tent. Who would you like to see FAMU play in the SWAC championship game? We talked about that, Kelvin, post game. So I put the poll out there. Southern, Alcorn, Grambling, and Prairie View. Now, again, I phrased it, who would you like to see, right? Right now, well, let me ask you guys, who would you like to see? I'll go with you, Kelvin, and then Marcus, before I give the results so far.
Well, I told you at the tailgate, it's a no-brainer for me. Southern. And why? Because it's a rivalry game. It'll be a rematch. The part of the SWAC championship game, the band has to come. So the jukebox will be here. And the home team get to keep the gate. So to beat them Jaguars twice, and the bank, man, you can't beat it. So for me, it's Southern.
Marcus, how about you? Who would you like to see FAMU play in the SWAC championship game?
That's a very good rationale, and I really can't argue against it. I didn't think about it that way, but I was thinking Alcorn, just because we haven't played them, and will put a stamp on. We play just about everybody we could possibly play on both sides of the conference, and if we were to prevail, then it would be not that it would be disputed anyway, but we'd be undisputed. We would have played everybody. Nobody playing twice. Do we have film we could look at before? We would have beaten everybody legitimately based off the talent and the coaching that we have, with no questions asked about what if or what coulda, shoulda.
Well, I'll tell you, Alcornites chimed in. They got it. They got in more so than Southern folks or Graham Fam or Prairie View, because I think we have played them before, but it's been a long time. Somebody said in the 80s is the
Yeah,
last
it's been a
time
while.
that we played Alcorn. Well, with 52.5% of the votes right now, there's still a day left to vote, but 52% right now is leaning towards Alcorn. They're starting to pull away on this. Southern is in second with 26.3% of the vote, followed by Grambling with 11.7 and Prairie View at 9.5. So, I like your rationale. I think if I had put a video of you saying why Southern, I think that might have sold a lot of people. But I think people picking Alcorn are kind of thinking something new. But then again, like you said, the rivalry of Southern makes it makes it kind of interesting. I personally think Alcorn is the team to beat, but this weekend will prove me right or wrong
That's
because
right.
they play each other. It's in Lorman, Mississippi. We'll talk about that on Wednesday's show, but that'll be the game of the week in the SWAC because
Absolutely.
somebody will move ahead in first place and kind of really maybe control their destiny with about 2 games, 2 to 3
3.
weeks left. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still see they got a that's funny. They still have a lot of ball left to play. I mean, we do too, but some of those
But
teams have
we're on the
4
weak
games.
part of our schedule.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
the yes, we are. So we got 3 games left, 2 conference games left, and of course, again, only need 1 win, 1 more win to host the SWAC championship game. All right, well, that's going to do it for our post game recap
Hey,
of all.
Brian,
Yes,
right before you close, let's shout out all the people who came to the tailgate, man. And I know we probably ain't got the pictures ready, but I know
yeah,
we saw Bull and
uh,
Ashton and
yep. Ashton saw the Musa family, Miss Joanne, who's in
yes,
the chat.
yes. I see
Um,
Miss Garcia
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Bull in here. Bull, congratulations. He got a shout out for
Saw
becoming a
Austin, James
crew member.
Austin.
Yep. Dexter saw Dexter Martin.
Yeah.
Stop by. Who else we forgetting? I feel
Jimmy
like
Mack.
Jimmy Mack. Of course, yeah. Jimmy Mack was there. Good to see Jimmy Mack.
Sam.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Sam was there. Um, we
Oh, definitely got
Defraud.
to thank Miss Thomas for the
Yes.
gumbo.
Ah,
Cardell Thomas'
yes.
mother.
Yes, Mr. Oh, the gumbo was so good. Oh, it was so
Seafood
good.
gumbo.
Marcus
Oh, it
was
was as advertised,
it
people.
was so. There's a few photos. Kelvin took photos.
I
I'm reminded
I got photos. We'll share some of the photos Wednesday.
for Wednesday. Yeah, we got a photo dump those so that we can put them out on Wednesday's show. Oh, the seafood was so good, Marcus, so good. But everything was good. Anybody that we might have left out, we'll kind of do a roll call on Wednesday and kind of see. I know I had a picture. We saw DeFron earlier because he had a pop up
Yes.
on Perry Street. So he of the Lawrence collection,
Anthony Lawrence
Anthony
collection.
Lawrence collection. So we saw him, and just a good time, and it's always funny seeing photos of people who were there, and you're like, oh, I didn't know they were there. Or, oh, I see, and it's like, that's what I'm going through now. I'm kind of going through the roll call of seeing people who were there that I didn't see. Marcus was there. Marcus got to see Marcus,
Yep.
so just very good to see everybody. And we're already working. I was telling our executive, our CEO Roy Evans, we got to figure out for the SWAC championship game because, of course, we got to bring the whole BCSN team down for
Got
the
to.
SWAC championship game. So we already know Dr. Cavill and the crew will be down. If it's Southern, who knows? We might see Carlos Brown. If it's Alcorn, we'll have Charles Edmond of the Alcorn State Sports Radio Network. It'll be a good time. So
By the
Huntsville.
way, we got to do a pregame in Orlando. I already got the power and the spot.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We got to start working on that. And also, I'm going to put this bug out there for folks who are watching and listening. I'm going to try to see. I was working with Mike Reed. I'm trying to find a way how to send some high school students in the Orlando area to the Florida Classic. There's a lot of high school students in this area where I live who have not been to the Florida Classic. And I want to find a way to provide them with some tickets, maybe them plus one, a family member or somebody that can go to the game. I was talking to Mike Reed. We were trying to figure out a good price point and try to see if we could get people to donate, whether it be $20 to help go towards a ticket. So that way if I do nothing but if I get 25 high school students to go to the Classic, it would change their life because you'd be surprised how many young African American students, not only at my school, but I know Keith Hadley and I have talked about it at his school. Other folks have never been to the Classic, and that's sad. And I don't care if you go to FAM. Well, I do care, but I want you to go to an HBCU, FAM or Bethune. But the experience of seeing Bethune and FAMU in that stadium on full display, bands, football team, the atmosphere, the pregame, the tailgate, the postgame. That is something that I wish for every high school student in this community. And so I got to find a way to help make that happen. So I may be calling on our O&G StrikeZone community to help me out with that. So maybe on Wednesday I'll share some more. But I just wanted to share that's what I'm working on. So if you would, give me that. So all right, guys, let's get ready to wrap it up and get out of here. So we can get going. We got other
Happy
things to do tonight.
homecoming. Great
Happy
win.
homecoming.
Congratulations,
Yes, indeed.
Rattlers everywhere.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure to share the show with some friends and family. Thanks to Nicholas Dixon. Thanks to Coach Simmons. Thanks to Coach Simmons for coming on tonight. And we appreciate all of you. Wednesday, the show will be not only on this feed, but also on our JBN feed and everywhere else that we normally are Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. So get ready to share and
Basketball.
tell your friends. Basketball show. Yes, a big basketball show. Big event happening Wednesday in Tallahassee to kick off the basketball season. We're going to have our special guest, a couple of special guests that'll be joining us not only for the season, but then we'll be talking to Coach McCullum, and we're still trying to get Coach Gordon. So maybe we'll get a surprise in there, and we'll get Coach Gordon in as well. But it'll be a heavy basketball themed show on Wednesday. So just want to let you guys know that. All right. So for Marcus and Kelvin, I'm Brian. Thank you for watching the show. Happy homecoming. Let's try to win tomorrow. 1-0.
1-0.
Week 1-0 and win on Saturday 1-0. That's the theme. So let's get ready to do it, Rattler Nation. God bless. Peace out.